Good morning. How's everybody doing? You know, it's the last day of August, so we're about to start September. So I had some silly September thoughts that I wanted to share with you. I was thinking about God, and I was thinking about the gospel lesson this week, and I noticed that sometimes God brings things together that seem like a funny, strange pair, and it makes me wonder why he brings those things together. For example, what's the best sandwich ever? Maybe peanut butter and jelly? Am I right? Is that like the best sandwich ever? We have some disagreement in the panel. That's okay. That's okay. We'll say it's one of the best sandwiches ever. Peanut butter and jelly, they go so well together. But have you ever sat down to lunch and your mom or your dad or your grandmom brought you a sandwich? Or maybe you're at school and you open up your lunchbox and you're so hungry and you can't wait to eat that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then you take a look at the sandwich and there's peanut butter on there, but there's no jelly. There's broccoli. Whoa, what would you think of that? Oh, now all of a sudden that peanut butter and jelly sandwich that we had doubts about sounds much better, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Peanut butter and jelly, a great pairing. Peanut butter and broccoli, that's unusual, very strange. I'm not sure if I would eat that lunch. Yep, you could. But you think about it, you got the peanut butter and you got the broccoli. It's healthy. Huh? You got that going on for you. So I was thinking about another example. Oh, so I work at Target. I mention that frequently. You're probably like, not another Target story. But sometimes when our Target team is working really hard, the store manager does something nice. He makes us lunch. One time, he made a very unusual lunch. Not peanut butter and jelly, not peanut butter and broccoli, but he made waffles. So I'm walking up to the break room and I'm like, all right, waffles. And you know what he put on top of it? Ice cream. And I thought, whoa, who puts ice cream on waffles? Ice cream seemed a little unusual, but he kept saying, Steven, you don't understand. This is how my family does it, and I want to share my family's wonderful waffle recipe with all the people at Target. So I tried it, and it was delicious. And now every time I have waffles, guess what? I want ice cream. So one more example I thought of. So I wasn't here last week because I was at school, and I go up for the first week, and then I come back home to do the rest of school online. So I went up to North Carolina. My school used to be in South Carolina, but it moved to North Carolina because there's a big school called Lenore-Ryan that's full of resources. So it brought in my seminary to take part in all the resources that were there at the North Carolina campus. So now my school that was in South Carolina now is in North Carolina. And the school that it's a part of is called Lenore-Ryan, and they have a mascot that is a bear. So we got new school shirts, and I wanted to show you my new school shirt. So check this out. It's Lutheran Theological Southern Seminary at Lenore-Ryan, and there's Martin Luther. He's the guy that the Lutheran Church kind of gets his name from. And there's the bear that represents Lenore-Ryan. So if you can't tell, it's a logo of Martin Luther. I know I'm wearing my school uniform to church. It's silly, right? But I wanted to show you this silly pairing, this unusual coupling here. Martin Luther riding a bear. It represents the two institutions coming together, the seminary, then the Lutheran College coming together. So there's Luther representing the seminary students, and there's the bear representing Lenore-Ryan. Now, don't ride bears. That's not the takeaway here. Stick to bicycles. But it's a silly way to illustrate how two things that God is doing is coming together. So they made this fun logo, and he's got a nice frothy glass of Mountain Dew, in case you're wondering what that was. And so finally, getting to the point, and thank you guys for listening. You guys are great listeners. What God does today, oh, but I'm not done. He says, oh, Steven, yes, you are. So what God does today in the gospel lesson is he talks about this great meal. And when you serve a meal or you have a party and you're serving peanut butter jelly and you're serving ice cream, guess who's probably there? All your friends and family. But God says, what if you did this? Instead of just inviting the people you know, what if you invited everybody? What if you invited the people you didn't know? What if you invited the people who were forgotten? The people that didn't get invitations? What if you brought them and said, come over to my house, have ice cream for me. There's plenty to go around. That might seem unusual, but that's what God does. Because God isn't usual, God is extraordinary. And God opens the door of his house, this church, and he says, everyone is welcome. And have more than just healthy broccoli and more than just delicious ice cream, but come and have the cup of forgiveness and the bread of life. And that's what we do as a church. We invite everybody just like God. And we bake bread. I love that too. Amen. You guys are great listeners. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Thank you. Yeah, good job. Amen.